Aquaman number 14, written by Jeff Johns, art by Perry Perez and Pete Woods. This is the prelude to Throne of Atlantis. So we open up in 1820, the Atlantic Sea, and there's just a whole bunch of, as far as I can tell, pirates, or maybe just sailors, out on the sea, and they see something moving in the water. They open up all their guns, their harpoons, whatever, and end up striking it down. And it looks like it is an Atlantean who looks a lot like Aquaman, but it's not because this is 1820. And they haul him up and they string him up by his feet and they're just like, hey, here's the deal. Like a week ago, we caught a sea hag, which is just a female Atlantean, and they tried to get it to perform some favors for the men, which she did not take kindly to, and so they killed her. But not before she took the captain's eye. So the captain obviously has a little bit of a grudge. And now they're going to kill the guy here because he has a little bit of a grudge. But before they can kill the guy, the crew look around the ship and they see that they are surrounded on all sides by an Atlantean army. So then we cut back to modern day, and Aquaman is sending a message to a bunch of fish that all make their way out. And we cut to the throne room, and it's going to be really difficult to talk about this in trying to keep it a secret, because throughout the entire issue it's all in shadow who this person is on the throne. But it is Aquaman's brother Orm, aka Ocean Master. We never actually get his name, but it's that. So I'm just going to call him Orm. Anyway, so apparently a boy named Garth was being harassed because he has purple eyes, and there's some sort of prophecy about a purple-eyed person bringing about the end of Atlantis. And Ocean Master's like, that's stupid. Make sure he's not harassed anymore. Send him on his way. And then the fish show up and deliver the message that Aquaman would like to speak to whoever this is on the throne. Again, Orm. So then we cut over to a prison in Louisiana, Belle Reve, and they have Black Manta there, and his helmet is all busted up, and two guards are like, this guy's whatever. Whatever he's here for, who cares? He's just a dude. Like, we can go in and we can take care of him. And Amanda Waller wants him specifically for the Suicide Squad. So this one guy walks in and starts like antagonizing him, being like, "So, Aquaman, huh? Like, is that guy really that big of a deal?" And Black Manta puts his finger on his helmet, says the word Quemadura, and laser blast shoots out, distracting the guard long enough that Black Manta is straight up able to kill this guard. And while explaining that Aquaman is like nearly bulletproof, his muscle density is 10 times that of a human, and he can breathe underwater. So yeah, he is kind of that big of a deal. At that point, Amanda Waller shows up like, you goddamned idiots, taking care of him as if he was just a guy. What's the matter with you? And they go into the cell. The dude is dead. And Black Manta's like, yeah, I'm not going to join the Suicide Squad. I hope I made that clear. So then we cut back over to Aquaman, who is next to the shipwreck of this ship that we saw in the intro. And Orm shows up, and he's like, hey, I'm here. You're a long way from home. What's going on, bro? And he's just like, hey, so Black Manta was hired to get the Atlantean artifacts, and just want to know if you know anything about that. And Orm's like, what's a Black Manta? I have no idea what you're talking about. And it's like, it's a treasure hunter. He's like, oh, cool. You think I wanted to like kill you guys for the artifact? Like, I would have just asked you for the artifacts, Arthur. I'm not going to try to kill you. Like, here, I'll tell you, I've always told you the truth. Just ask me, did I send Black Manta? It's like, did you send Black Manta? No, not at all. So at that point, we cut back up to the surface in Norway, where Volko is trying to untangle a fishing line, and some guy runs up and he's like, Volko, you gotta come see this. And it is a Atlantean like guard who is washed up dead on the sea. And it's like, oh geez, okay, I gotta go. And he just dives into the water, and everyone's like, oh my god, he actually was Atlantean. That's crazy. So Aquaman and Orm keep talking, and Orm's just like, look, I wanted you to come back and be on the throne. I literally asked you to do that, but you wanted to stay up on the surface with your people. And I get it. You spent more time there. It's fine. I'm not pissed off about it. But I have then taken the throne, and I have tried to make Atlantis as good as it can be without you. And we can literally work together if you want. Like, if that's something you're up for, I'm totally down with it. But you've been kind of keeping away from Atlantis, and I requested that we were here at this shipwreck. Do you know why I requested that? Do you remember what happened to this ship? And they said, like, yeah, the men on the ship slaughtered the king and the queen of Atlantis. And it's like, our grandparents, mind you, our ancestors, sorry, great-grandfather. And he recalls, like, yeah, the Atlanteans, they sunk the ship, but they let all the sailors live, and they were all just treading water until one by one they all sank down to the bottom of the ocean. And it's like, okay, but do you remember what we did to the captain? And it's like, yeah, when the captain was about to sink, the Atlanteans came and they delivered him to the shore. And then when they got there, he pulled his knife again and threatened the Atlanteans and said, take him back to the water, because the captain always goes down with his ship. And then we see the skeleton of the captain there at the bottom of the shipwreck. And he's like, yeah, cool story, right? Not sure how it relates. But anyway, if I wanted to, we could literally destroy the entirety of the surface world. We could take out all their boats. But we're not doing that because we don't want to. We want to work with you, Arthur. You are my brother, and all I want for you is happiness. Okay? Cool? We good? Bye. And he leaves. So then we cut to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And remember where we caused that cave-in that kept the trench down in the trench? We see that the scepter of the King of Atlantis from last arc is breaking it open. And it's like, all right, trench, come on out. And they all start making their way out. So, yeah, that's just, that's the prelude. That's setting it all up. Obviously, Orm, Ocean Master, not a chill guy, no matter how much he says he is. But, hey, whatever. I like it. I think it's a solid enough little setup here. It doesn't really do too much in terms of actual plot progression, but it sets up, all right, here's the threat. The trench is coming again, and also the scepter that can literally sink an entire city. Kind of a big deal. It sets up why Aquaman would be involved in it and how he came to the conclusion of Orm being involved. It's all around pretty good. The only thing that seems a little bit out of place right now is that Black Manta is just in prison, and he straight up says, like, and I got my own stuff going on. Doesn't really tie into the plot yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. So overall, I'm going to give this one an 8. I really do enjoy it. I think that's a solid setup for the book. Definitely feels a lot stronger than like the last few issues have, because those have just kind of felt a bit too rushed for me. This one takes its time, it slows it down, and says like, all right, here we go, we're doing an event now. I'm not sure if part 1 to this is in, like, after Prelude, the actual part 1 is in Aquaman, or if it's in Justice League, but we will see in one of those books how this event progresses.